I had the illest dream ever. I had a dream, the best dream I ever had. I had a dream that we all at the same time in the music business, black people, we all realized our value all at the same time. So we came together and we created some shit called black privilege. Now, white privilege is just something that exists because statistically they say that, white people are the majority. So, the majority rules. Well, in hip hop, if we're talking about the inner workings of it in the way that it's being controlled, white people aren't the majority. Black people are the majority. White people, as a majority, are in more positions of quote unquote power. And I use air quotes because if you really look at it, I think when we're in positions of power, we don't flex our muscle. I think we overlook our power sometimes. I'll use two examples. Like the Rock Nation brunch and the Revolt Summit. Those are two gatherings. Very intelligent, successful, affluent black people all together in one place. The Revolt Summit, everybody's coming together to try to figure out what we could do, where we stand in the country, to put us in a better place economically and moving forward in the future, which is productive. But in my dream, we realized that we have more successful black people in positions of power and that are artists in music that are fearless. So imagine if the Revolt Summit was strictly geared toward us coming together and figuring out how we can keep improving upon our standings in music. Because if we focus on that, the power is then elevated to maybe go off individually and start to try to make some of the changes that we want to see in the country. 20 billionaires is better than 10. So here go where I'm going with this. So if you had Jay-Z, Jay Prince, and Puff, and Dre, if all four of those guys just came together with the understanding that we're not gonna penetrate the systemic racism that's in hip hop. We're not gonna do anything to change. There's nothing that we can do that's gonna affect it enough to where it's gonna be some change by thinking like them, adopting any of their ideologies. We don't have a lot of time. We got to stop acting like time is of the essence, because it's not. We got to start thinking about our babies coming into the game in the way that they're thinking coming into the game. We got to catch them before they come in, because fame is being marketed to them. So everything that we see in the business that we don't like, that's to our detriment. We have to put something in place that's the juxtaposition of those things. So we got to build our own ecosystem, black privilege, something where the aunties, the grandmas, the mothers, they're proud to turn their sons or daughters over to us in the music business when they coming in. because they know that they're not going to be signed to some contract that's going to be to their detriment. There's got to be a level of trust there. And I know a lot of y'all dudes are hustlers. Y'all got these kids signed and y'all own like all of their stuff and all of that. And I understand you feel like you being a hustler, but you're not. You're just thinking short-sighted. If you adopt the same ideologies as the very motherfuckers that's oppressing us, then you being hustled. You being hustled. You playing into the division, and you creating a situation where there's going to be resentment somewhere down the line once, the artists smarten up. And that's where this whole every man for himself thing kind of came from amongst black artists. It's not like that with the executives. And it's not like that with the white artists. And this is no offense. I'm not trying to pit any race against each other or anything like that. I'm saying we need to start making decisions thinking about the greater good of the culture. I mean, the future depends on it. Ice-T and Ice Cube and Luke and Tupac, they planted trees for us. They broke down barriers and they opened up doors for us to walk through. Now, the reason why people don't have to censor us and shit like that, because somewhere down the line, they convinced us to be PC. They talked us out of having a voice. They subjugated the fuck out of the whole culture. And I think we forget how much control we have because it's being marketed to us how much we don't own it. We can come together and control it as much as we want. If we came together right now and said, which I think this is something we should do, there's going to be an alliance. And from now on, every artist that comes through to the table, $5. $5 every royalty statement. Just put aside like a tax. Maybe it goes into like a fucking escrow or something like that to be delegated to certain forefathers of this shit. The guys who they're not doing so good now because maybe their business acumen wasn't up to par back in the day and the game chewed them up and spit them out. But that in no way takes away from the effort that they put in to pave the way for us to do great fucking things. I don't think that should be forgotten. I think shit like that should be in our control. Not only does it put them in a better financial place, it shows gratitude. And that's good for the universe. And also, now we're investing money into controlling the thinking of the younger artists that's coming into the game, because that's what they're doing. They're investing money to control the thinking. So because of the way that everything appears on TV, it's making us short-sighted thinkers. So we got to train the babies to think long term. And we got to train the babies to think like a village. These motherfuckers got to start feeling like if they fuck with one of us, they got to fuck with all of us. I don't want to see nothing about Meg Thee Stallion falling out with the label, and now it's Jay-Z, Jay Prince. I don't hear nothing about 300 in there. All the media outlets just making everything about us versus us. People disagree on contracts and shit like that all the time. We find a way to come to a resolution, and we solve them within our ecosystem. Black privilege. We put real people in positions, people with vision. People with vision, people who know how to make records, people who know how to build brands, and not just people who are in positions because they're cool with somebody and they've been armed with the information. And mostly the information that they've been armed with is just, like tactics and shit to use to keep us crippled. We got to start thinking outside the fucking box. We got to start just doing shit just because we can. When I got this studio, it was then that I realized that I should have been got the studio. And I realized that I could have been got the studio. I thought myself out of it a bunch of times because I fell into a comfort zone of just paying for studio time until I got a bill for $80,000. I said, man, fuck this shit. I got this building and it's the best thing I could have ever did for my career. I wish I'd have done it sooner. I feel like that with us. We don't have the time and the privilege to have a Rock Nation brunch with all of those amazing people all congregating together and all of that power that's being harnessed at that moment, and we don't shoot a fireball. Every time we come together, it's got to be to conjure up some type of plan, to put something in place to maintain order. I hate using this as an example, but when Kanye West took Taylor Swift's mic, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Nothing against her. I don't mean any disrespect or anything like that, but not everybody's going to understand this. But we need moments like that, because it's moments like that where you really see whose culture it is. Puff, my big brother Puff, you're a king. No more talking on their platforms and their podiums, reminding them of how unfair they are. They've been heard that. They heard us loud and clear a long time ago. Let's come together and create our own standards and our own ceremonies and shit to rival their credible ceremonies. Why the fuck are they credible? Why is Forbes credible? Forbes never fact check anybody's fucking bank account or assets. They do estimates and then they throw shit out there and everybody run with it because they're a quote unquote credible source. Ain't nothing more credible than us. Nothing more credible than us. Motherfuckers should be able to make, artists should be able to come in this motherfucker and make records, experimental records that don't work, and have black privilege to fall back on. That's how I feel. Because record label execs got it. They got privilege to fall back on. If something don't work, they just go get a job somewhere else. Why can't we have the same thing? You know, like it's only because it's just something that we're not doing. Why can't we come together and just say, okay, we're gonna make health insurance a thing now? I would love to start putting money aside for the OGs in this shit, because it's teaching the younger artists when they come in to number one, it's connecting the connotation to their entry to the game that says it was people that came before me, and this is just a part of it. You'd be surprised how easily the kids accept this as their reality. It's no different from the way we accepted the 360 deal. 2 generations from now, it won't be even like debated. It'll just be a part of the game that we created. We don't create any standards. We defy all laws. We break down all barriers. We do all that. We do everything, but we don't keep the cycles going. We don't create our own cycles because we're being self-preserving. We're thinking about ourselves, and I think I think now in 2020 to be self-preserving is to the detriment of the culture. We got to start thinking about the greater good of the game when we make our decisions. And we got to start thinking about our babies. It's got to be a village. Nipsey wasn't supposed to get killed. No, we need order. We need order. People need to be afraid. People need to be afraid of all of these brilliant minds. Like, that's what we did. We shocked the world. We took over the world. They didn't want us to have this voice. They were in a state of panic when our black asses jumped out there. They tried to silence us. And then when they seen that they couldn't silence us, they jumped out ahead of us and subjugated the fuck out of us. And now we're just collateral damage. So even us that, that have ownership, we saying own your master, he should work fine with you. Let's give the kids to a black fucking attorney that's going to be fair, that's going to talk to him about masters, that's going to talk to him about everything that he needs to know. Sit him next to some real label executives. Sit him next to a nigga like me. And he won't be looking at the charts and basing his whole existence around that shit. That shit ain't nothing but a fucking grid with titles on it. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with shit. It's all about who's got more people talking about him at the same time. What the fuck do that got to do with anything? 20 years from now, what is that going to matter? And why do we not think about that until we in some type of trouble? And why do we have to find out everything through trial and error? Where's the information source? Where's the brain trust? Where's the shit that's just mandated to the culture? We got to have some type of loyalty. I mean, men got a loyalty. Like, most of us don't fuck each other's girl. That's an unspoken rule in the black community, right? So why can't we create some more rules that can actually move us forward? Because once we start thinking like that, it'll be way more Jay-Z's than just Jay-Z. And it won't be so much pressure on him. So many people trying to stand next to him. But the record industry don't have to be this big ass business where everybody's throat getting cut and all of that shit. You don't got to be desperate when you are the superhero. Y'all niggas is calling yourself hustling, taking everybody's publishing and all of that shit. You got to relax. That's not hustling. That's like being late to work and you just running every light. You're not going to get there no faster. You're creating chaos. Calm down. Calm down and just be fair. It ain't nothing wrong with being fair. Because once that cycle starts, then you'll know your children are in good hands. Then they won't be getting fucking approached by kids that have been prepped by people currently in the business to put them in contracts that are very compromising. I don't see enough prepping. It's not enough executives being prepped on the black side. And I'm not race baiting or whatever y'all like to say, you know, when I start talking like this, but I shouldn't feel guilty for loving myself. To love myself is to love my brothers. You know, like, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be rich looking at poor people every day. Especially talented people. I'm tired of everybody just doing records with niggas just because of how many followers they got or how much value they think that person brings to the table. It's real funny. We don't know our value, but we can place value on a motherfucker if we think he brings some energy for a feature. We're able to clearly see what we think somebody is worth then. All right, well, that same value that you place on that motherfucker, make sure that motherfucker places it on himself, and you come together and do something for the culture that can help the culture more than just a song that y'all came together to fucking try to be on the charts with. Because that shit makes the label a bunch of money. Make you a little bit of money. You think it's a lot of money because you ain't come from shit. You think $1 million is a lot of money? That shit's not a lot of money in comparison to what you generating. When was the last time you fucking negotiated a streaming split? They say, yo, this streaming, license us all y'all music, and this is what we gonna give y'all. And we said, okay. Why? Because we just accepted, you know, our reality in music as, you know, we just kind of be the bottom feeders. We just get whatever's left. Nah. Clarence Avant's. Where's the guys like that? Why is Clarence Avant not a cycle that just continues? Why does a Clarence Avant pop up every blue moon? Why do we even need that? We shouldn't need that no more. It's too much information readily available. And I don't see white people complaining about their fucking contracts. I got a problem with that. And I don't want anybody to do nothing about it. I'm not asking white people to do anything. Keep continuing to do what you guys have been doing. I admire that shit. I'm saying to my people, which I'm focused on right now. That's all I fucking care about. Roc Nation is the only company that I would do business with in terms of a deal or a fucking partnership or something like that. At this point, we got to all be thinking the same, where it's not even worth my time. It's got to be something that helps move something forward other than just a couple more dollars in the bank account. What difference do it make? I'm going to end up having to loan it to somebody anyway if everybody's all fucked up because nobody has information. Everybody's hoarding information because you think it's going to keep you around longer, but actually it's keeping all of us around shorter. Black privilege, our own ecosystem. If you got a problem with one of us, you got a problem with all of us. The same contracts that we're giving, y'all giving. I don't care who's worth $1 billion, whatever. I don't care about that. We're going to change the thinking of the kids before they even get in this motherfucker. We need to start changing the thinking of the athletes before they dedicate their whole lives to being able to play a sport on God level just to be told all of these things that they can and can't do. There shouldn't be a NBA ball team that LeBron James doesn't have ownership in. Period. I don't care how anybody feels about it. It's not asking for anything from anybody. It's demanding what's already rightfully ours. It's money being generated from us. People with more of a business acumen in place have figured out a way to monetize it and put an infrastructure in place to keep it that way. So we got to be careful not to play into the shit and start creating our own shit. And like I said, just do shit, just to do it. Snatch mics. Create some shit. Make it the new thing that everybody got to do. Just make it. Like Trick, no fly zone. Just do it. Do whatever we want to do just because we can, because it's our shit. And we want our kids coming into this shit wearing it with that same pride. I want them to feel like they own this shit. I don't want them to feel like that they work for some executive because they being made to feel like, you know, their position is in jeopardy if they don't play the game. Ain't no fucking game to play. It's our game. I'm tired of all of these mental health issues and suicides and shit like that. Why? Why do you have mental health issues? You're a genius. Why are you thinking about hurting yourself? You know why? Because you've been told that numbers are everything. So now when you upload a video to YouTube and you don't have a gajillion views in 2 seconds, you're telling yourself that that's a failure. Because they're lying to you and telling you that these numbers mean everything. Numbers don't mean shit. Stop letting them tell you that that the Chitlin circuit, that rhythmic radio and urban radio is the Chitlin circuit. And you're not successful until you cross over to pop radio. Stop letting them tell you that. They're basically telling you you're not successful unless white people like you. That's a fucking lie. White people love hip hop. You can't take Ice Cube out of Boys in the Hood and replace him with fucking Jake Gyllenhaal. It's not a classic anymore. We just are what we are. Tyler Perry ain't never made nothing but movies for black people. He's a fucking billionaire. So stop letting them stop letting them tell you these things to minimize black people's involvement in everything. Oh, there's no money in the black culture. Okay, yeah, whatever. We got plenty of money. We just haven't galvanized it. We don't know our value as a collective. Jay-Z and Puff's money alone can buy small islands. We can do anything we want to do. All we got to do is use it. Use it to our highest capabilities. No more Roc Nation brunches unless every time we come together, let's figure out something just to do, to put in place, to make people abide by, to make people follow. We can make our own fucking Grammys. It don't take a whole bunch of planning. Puff planned better parties than some of them Grammy ceremonies. He got party planners and shit in place already that can put together a better ceremony than the Grammys. What better standings can you be in music with black people loving you? with all black people loving you, if you're a black artist and you're doing music that was made by us, for us, that now the world can enjoy, what better position to be in than black people loving you? You don't never have to cross over to anything. Anybody's more than welcome to come listen. All love. But once you start making shit targeting people who don't even have nothing to do with nothing, this shit is coming from your heart. You don't make music for people that's just got the radio turned down a little bit in their car and music just kind of exists in their lives like that. You gotta make music for people who feel. Fuck the popular shit. Marketing dollars can put any song on the chart. I can put any song on the chart right now. All I gotta do is go pay the right people. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. How many you sold the first week doesn't mean anything. People put all our marketing dollars into some shit. They sell a certain amount of copies the first week, and then they just stop. They just stop investing in it. So the sales slow down because they stop selling it. We need to start keeping our shit in circulation. Everybody switch over to Tidal. And let's stop acting like crabs in the barrel, and let's build the black privilege ecosystem. Even though I love you all. I love you all, but everybody don't need my help. My people do, though. In a major way. Revolt Summit. Next one. Let's make it about us in music. And how we can come together and create the ecosystem that is the direct juxtaposition to everything that they got in place that's to the detriment of us. Because all of their shit, all of their infrastructures are a direct attack to our lack of knowledge and our business acumen as a collective. Until we can get that together as a collective, if we can do what I'm saying, what I dreamed about, we don't need the business acumen, don't even have to all the way be there as individuals. All you're doing is coming into a place of trust. That's all you're doing. You're coming into a world where you know that you're going to be taken care of because you got people who look at you like you're them. That's what we are. That's our power. That's our power. We got to use it. Love and respect.